Article 15 of RTS 22, firms must notify the regulator promptly where they identify any errors or omissions within their transaction reports. Before we talk about how that should be done, there's that question of materiality that we get so often. When should I submit a report? And with that, the regulation is very clear. Where there are errors, inform the regulator. Of course, that doesn't mean that you must tell the regulator each time you have a late report. In those instances, it's sufficient to submit a quarterly or biannual report with the number of late reports that you have. However, it's important to note what the regulation states, and that means you should be clear and notify the regulator where you identify errors. And this not only points to the openness of the firm to communicating with the regulator, but also shows the regulator that you are indeed undertaking the required reconciliations of your data. So now, what should you include within your errors and omissions notification? You must understand the root cause of the issue. What is it that caused us to have the error that we have? You must understand the requirements. I inputted this in my data, I should have inputted this in my data. You must also have a planned date for remediation and back reporting. When do I envision that I'll be able to resubmit the corrected data to the regulator? You must also talk about the governance structures within your firm that oversee the transaction reporting regime. Are those sufficient? And what was the escalation process to get to where the relevant people, the relevant stakeholders had the relevant information to make the decisions that were needed to be made? And lastly, do you reconcile your records? Who requests data extracts and how often? How do you conduct reconciliations, and how can you show the regulator that you're sure that the error will not reoccur going forward? We know that firms in the process of submitting an errors and omission form struggle with finding the root cause of the issue, identifying the escalation process, and also putting in the relevant MI, such as how many reports were impacted by the issue. Here at Comply, our tool allows you to have that information at the click of a button. It has the information laid out in a way that allows you to pull out the data and input into the errors and omission with ease, therefore saving resources and time that would have been otherwise used in a manual process.